you live from here on out. Um, we were talking about the accelerationists. Coming that close. I'm up in WeHo Park. You can see I didn't get very good sleep. I was dreaming about horses and snakes last night, and various people. I was drifting in and out. I got really bad stiff neck. A lot of people are getting this kind of stiff neck. Whatever, it's fairly common. We're talking about accelerationism. I call it accelerationalism. I guess it would be the same thing. I always mispronounce words sometimes. Sorry, I just crammed a bunch of food down my throat. I'm always hungry. I eat off the EBT menu. And so, with this accelerationist movement, this is where cancel culture comes from. And it's looking like I have been canceled. That's what this is. Now, don't forget, they had a film called The Circle, and this was all about cancel culture as well. I gotta take a look and see because it's set up differently. So whatever. Sorry, I think I look better. Hello. I do look better with them on. Actually, I look a lot less tired. I look like very studious. Um, it's weird. I can't figure out what's on the screen and what's on my face. Anyway, sorry about that. So we're gonna try to make it a exciting show. I have Stephanie joining me. Thank you very much for joining me, Stephanie. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my show. I'm trying to, uh, again, I don't care about cancel culture, but what I care about is being able to talk about things on the show and being able to talk about them with people who are on the other side of whatever divide you're on. If you're all about racial politics, then talk to somebody else on the other side who's into alt white culture, because it certainly isn't about being white. It's about being conservative, really, mostly. And a lot of this stuff is starting to blur, it's starting to blend, right? And I said before, if if you're going to believe somebody's going around telling you you group identify with people who were oppressed, well, the first thing you're going to want to do is oppress somebody else to get back at the system, right? I remember this as a nihilist 20-year-old living in Detroit in Michigan, in suburban Michigan. That's where my band recorded a lot of our material. And there's a lot of music from the 1980s there, from Detroit, and I was part of this scene. And to this day, I really regret um, me thinking that I was ever friends with any of these people. I'm going to triple down on that. These people got involved in cancel culture. And through the accelerationist movement that I was studying, like I said, what I do is I tap into what comes up through my natural algorithms can be dangerous. Always check my playlist on the show, and you'll see I have proofs of this. Right? You have to listen to what these people say in the establishment, and you have to deconstruct what they say because the politicians aren't going to do it for you. And we live in a world where we think that the politicians are actually doing something for us. They are not. They prove it to us over and over and over again. Time and time again, they prove it that they're not out for us. I live on $6 per day in the United States of America. And everybody knows that there's a huge spike in um, food prices. I'm digging the food out. I want to get every morsel out of like my teeth. Okay. And the prices are high as they've ever been. And I have to live off $6 a day. And this is a combination of cancel culture. Right? I went in to get a coffee and I was canceled at the coffee shop. We don't like what you posted. Okay. That conclusion. You have to go to the next logical conclusion. And we're talking about accelerationalism. I call it accelerationalism. They call it accelerationism. You call it what you want. But the left had a manifesto in that, and it said they were canceling. Your future is canceled. Okay? Now, we already know that the right won the meme war. The memes are fantastic. Right now, we live in an entire world of memes. That is it. They are better than headlines. It used to be that, uh, you know, you'd catch the headlines in the paper. We would always get the weekly world news and stuff like that. We would get stuff like that. And we would laugh at these headlines. And we would laugh at the headlines in the paper because they were a joke, right? Um, and so now it's really all about the memes. And like I said, some of the headlines are memes. I call this media deep blue. I got to do some stretchies, guys. This should be a pretty quick episode. Um, I really, I really miss coffee. I have 12 days to go before I re up my food on my card. 12 days to go. You got to go basically to the 4th of July. And then they're going to have the 4th of July weekend. See how it works? So my food budget might be delayed by a day. And that causes me to have to either stand out with a sign, which I haven't done in a long time. Luckily, some gal had pity on me yesterday and gave me half a almond and powdered sugared croissant, buttered. Very nice, very nice, very wonderful person, and it was great. We had this great, honest moment together where we're just laughing. She started laughing at me, and I'm just laughing, just at me, right? It was very beautiful. It was a very natural moment, um, and you don't get that when you're canceled. You don't get that. What you get is, um, I didn't mean to touch that, whatever that was, under the picnic table. um, what you get is hassled. That's it. I don't really care. Like, you could see how many episodes I've done. Obviously, I'm not here for money. Everybody in their little mind believe that being online equates to money. It does not. Okay? You have to have, okay, 1,000 views equals $5. You know what it takes to get it? Now take a look at some people's metrics and you're like, what? He got 20,000 views? Yeah, he just made $100. It takes 20,000 views to make $100. Do you know how many views that is? 20,000 views to get $100. And guess what? You still have to pay taxes on that. That's your gross. Okay? That's your gross. So it's really 70. Guys, there's no money online. Nobody's gonna come to my, oh, did you hear about the Creven Cordy channel? Oh my god. Like, who's like nobody's gonna do that. But you're not gonna stop me from doing what I was put on the earth to do at this moment in time. Right? Now, every day of my life, I do exactly what I want within the means that I have to do it. Okay? So don't ever forget that. I'm doing what I want to do within the means that I have to do it. Now, if I had a different situation, would I be doing something else? Yeah, you better know that's right. I'd be having my Kenny Powers jet skis, right? And my big truck. Okay? I'll be rolling, going to the beach, whatever it is. And that's why when you're part of this cancel culture, it's really pretty horrific and it's pretty shameful and it's terrible that people actually do this. But I'm trying to, kind of understand it from an on the ground perspective. I'm trying to explain it to you, my audience, my loving, wonderful audience. Doesn't matter how many people watch my show. I don't care because I have purpose in my life. Okay. And at one time, like depending on what your circumstances is, your purpose changes in life, right? That's why I keep talking about going back to Michigan, and I don't have anything in common with these people. Like I said, I don't larp people. I don't set people up. I don't write articles about them disparaging, you know, hey, it's all, like I said, it's all plausible deniability, PD. This is all police department sanctioned, right? And this comes down from the top down, right? And people are putting too much weight into politics. I'm just sorry. These laws are arbitrary. They use the laws when they're going to target you, right? And I don't care if it's like something like that. And then there's other people who do these like prison videos. None of that matters, okay? Because it's about you have to live you want, but you have to go in, build boogie, and you have to live in the moment. You have to live your life, and that's what I did, and I did it honestly, right? Um, when I changed my life, I changed my life. Nobody else understood, but I needed help. I needed help in Michigan, and I'm like, man, I'm an alcoholic. I've been drinking since the age of 11, and please help me. I can't get any help from my family. I can't get any help from my friends. And I went into the system thinking that I was going to maybe just get a little bit of help. You know what they did? They physically attacked me. Yeah, that's right. Stephanie said it. There's nothing in common. You don't have anything in common with these people. They stayed stuck in molasses. That's where they're at. And you have to move and you have to grow, right? That's why I don't really care, man. My neck's so stiff. I don't really care about cancel culture, about politics, about any of this stuff, right? My writing speaks for itself. My songs speak for itself. I already called these people out by name who ran game on me. I mean, it's the most pathetic thing that you could ever think to do. And it's all people that I knew, and it's all people that I never thought that I ever had a beef with. How in the world would I ever have a beef with my ex girlfriend? I wouldn't have a beef with any ex girlfriend of mine. Why would I? You're in a relationship. You know it's stupid. You would just kind of laugh about it. I know that's right. When I ran into Bo Mitchell, you just kind of laugh about it. You don't have much in common, but you say hello. You nice. So this accelerationism, it has a manifesto, and part of that manifesto is cancellation. Because on the right, they don't use cancellation. That's all the left has. And it's really, truly sad. Now, take a look at this film called The Circle with Tom Hanks, and I think the girl might have been from, I want to say she was from Harry Potter, maybe, right? It's pretty just whatever. But two people died prematurely in that film, Bill Paxton and Glenn Headley. Okay? Now, this film was about cancel culture, and it came out, you know, whenever it came out. Got Tom Hanks. And you could see this kind of world that we're living in now, where Elon Musk is going to fight, he's going to fight Zuckerberg, right? So, what this is was using a police issued weapon against me. Okay, I don't see any other channels talking about this. You can cancel me all you want. Right? Yeah. Well, really, what I was trying to say, Stephanie, is that the government, we are the government because we are born with a social security number. So there's something called synarchy. So I explained to you where this gang stuff comes from. It comes from people in the government. It comes from corrupt police officers. It comes from one intelligence agency running roughshod over another intelligence agency, right? This is where the big rivalries come in through these intelligence agencies, right? And some of them might be NSA. I've heard NSA being thrown around a little bit when it came to Twitter. And if you think that anybody involved in these public private partnerships aren't uh, more about the public, they are. They are completely government funded. And as part of this accelerationist movement, Peter Thiel was absolutely brought up. His name is brought up numerous times. Okay. And again, when I bring these people up, I'm not putting on a beret and changing my name to Shay. I'm trying to contextualize things for my audience. And we can't grow this show without having an audience. You have to kind of share it, put it on your other platforms. I am only on YouTube. I am YouTube exclusive. That's it. I can't be on Facebook or Instagram because Fed rats, who I call Fed rats, are using these platforms to target individuals. They crank up the algorithm so high that your fight or flight mechanism gets kicked in. Like I said, my wife was actually using an individual one. Okay, she wasn't just going through that one. They can come either way. That's that's so there's what PD, plausible deniability, right? I keep talking about this plausible deniability. Okay, that's what it's all about. I had a police officer ruin. He cost me $20. He ruined my bag. He did it on purpose. He was smug. Talk about a Napoleonic complex, right? He owes me $20, and I plan on getting it from him. Okay, I don't roll like that. But again, he's just standing there. What? I don't know. What? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Everybody I ask, I'm like, dude, where's my stuff? You can't just take my stuff. I don't know. I don't know where it is. This is part of cancel culture. That's what I call these people Double O Kevin. Everybody thinks they're in a gang. Everybody thinks they're in this, you know, part of this apparatus. And unfortunately for me, my wife actually was. It was pretty nasty business. I bring her up all the time. And again, we were legally married in the city of Queens. But I tell you something, they'll just throw it out. I went to go get my results for my CAT scan back. They threw it out. They threw it out. Okay. So what they're pushing people into is to death. And this is the kind of thing that I want to talk about because I think it's really important. I think there's a big apparatus in place. Like I said, these places have these services for you, but they'll look for any reason to turn you away. You got here too late. I've been told that numerous times. You have a homeless person showing up with your bags and nothing but your bags on your back, and you're going to tell me you got here too late. They tell you that, yeah, that's what they're looking for. They want people to die. They want you to die. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So in these liberal states, they're allowing people, you can go steal as what you want, you can do as many drugs as you want, okay? What's the other thing? You can engage in prostitution. Okay, prostitution is actually working in conjunction with um, Uber and Lyft because all the girls are standing out there and they have their phones and they're saying, "Are you my Uber? Are you my Lyft? Are you my Uber? Are you my Lyft?" You see how it works now? And you just say, "No, but I can give you a ride." Oh, sure. Right. So again, you see how now that's a public-private partnership I want a part of. Right? Right. So again, I guess is it really true that we never really satisfy, we never really get what we want? Like I said, I just wanted to be part of a family because I never felt part of mine. And I always bring this up, and I'm tomorrow's episode. I have to go episode by episode of what I talk about, and oh, this man, my neck is killing me, man. Um, so I always bring this up. Okay, so my father would beat my mother. Okay, I'm talking about James Thurman Ison used to beat Margaret Lucrezio. Those are their names, and I'm not ashamed of it. And all this doxing nonsense is bullshit. I'll dox anyone, and I'll even box a few people who got it coming to them. Make no mistake about it. And I can name those people too, because there's only about five of them. We're going to get five across their lid if they ever cross my path again. And that's why they have to send their sycophants around me. And then they report back, yeah, I saw him. I saw him. There he is. You're pathetic. But so my father, James Thurman Ison, used to beat my mother. Okay. She had four kids, five, one of them died. We had four kids, and they were together about 10 years, maybe more. And the relationship was coming to an end. My dad was drinking in the bars, and he was listening to these assholes in the bars. Why? Because I did. And the same assholes are in the same bars. Trust me. That's why you only want to be in those bars while you're a young kid. You know what I mean? About between 20 and 30. You go to bars, hang out, right? Meet people, have fun, play darts. That's great, right? Um, yep. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Stephanie. Yeah, I understand your plight. Yeah, I think a lot of people, there's a lot too many single people out here. Okay. And it's really ruinous. And that's where all this drug stuff comes from. I lived it, guys. I already lived it. That's why I laugh at every time somebody tries to LARP me. I just laugh at them because I already lived it. They come around me and do the silliest stuff. It's just like, okay, it's all projection. So what happened was my mother would have to stay across the street. So she started staying at Al Kakuza's house. Okay. Al Kakuza had a wife and he had a daughter, Mary. Okay. And so Mary began to act out passive aggressively because she's doing her mother's bidding. Her mother obviously didn't want my mother or, staying at her house. It's like, hey, man, that's your problem. Well, my dad, knocked out one of my mother's teeth. That's how bad he was beating her. Right. So I'm not ashamed of any of this stuff. I'm here to tell my story. And I already wrote a memoir, and my writing is up on Kindle. If you ever want to look at it, you could look at it for free. I'm not asking you for any super chats or anything. So what happened was she began acting out passive aggressively. And so one day she told me to steal an ice cream. And I said, well, I didn't even know what it was because I was literally 4 years old. Okay. And I said, no, I have a quarter. She goes, no, put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket. And I was with other kids. We were all together. I was Cheryl and Leona was there too. And so she goes, put it in your pocket, put it in your pocket while they were up paying for their stuff. And so I had the quarter and I put the ice cream in my pocket and I didn't know what to do. So obviously I put the quarter in my other pocket. I'm 4 years old. It's me. Right? So we go home. What's the first thing I did? I told on myself. I told on myself because that's what you do, right? That's what you do. You come clean. I wasn't religious. I didn't need religion. And I didn't need some fake morality. I didn't need to be the moral police. Hey, Gordon, listen, what would you do in this situation? I've had that numerous times. And these are these I call them Turing tests. It's like, what are you trying to see? Whether I'm a NPC, whether I'm a human robot, or whether I'm a living, breathing human being that I know that I am. So what was the first thing I did? I told on myself because it's morally wrong, right? At 4 years old, I had these morals inside myself because I was using my mind. Now, whether you want to say you got that from God or you got that from Darwin, that's your business, man. I'm not here to change your belief system. That's why I'm not going to put down anyone's religion. Temple, mosque, that's for like people on Fox News. So if I'm so alt right, how come I'm not sitting here, being a sycophant for Fox News? because I actually use my discernment, unlike most people, right? The left have cancellation. That's all they have. They're going to cancel you, and then they're going to kill you. That's what they want. What are you going to do? You're going to die anyway. So, what are you going to do? Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Right? But I'm saying as a moral person, now when you go through life, you want to hear these moral stories from the Bible. You want to hear these moral stories from philosophy and from mythology, and they'll help you along the way. That's why that Oedipal myth is very important, right? So what else happened when I was a child with the same girl, Mary Kakuza? I'm playing with her again across the street. My dad comes home. My father, I mean to say, James Thurman Isaac. She tells me to run directly across the street, and I did it again, right? So as far as the ice cream was concerned, I told on myself right away, and then I got yelled at. I got chastised. They blamed me. And with the eternal recurrence, here we go. Now it's starting to get spun. That's why these early forming years are so important. And that's why I don't have anything in common with anybody in my family. And then people go out in the world and they seek other people to be part of their family to come in, right? So when you have these drug addicts and you have these alcoholics, they're gonna what? They're gonna seek other drug addicts and alcoholics, right? Is there anything wrong with it? Not really. Misery loves company, and I don't really consider it to be miserable. But again, what are you going to do? So I'm studying this accelerationalism for you. The next episode is going to be about Jeremy Cloud. I have to get these things figured out in my head. So in case you don't know, I'm writing a novel. Okay, it's my first pass at a novel. This novel is basically going to be a shooting script for a television series. And in this television series, it's going to be about 3 seasons. After the punk rock kids take place, then they're going to move into a Mario Van Peebles. I'm sorry, I meant Melvin Van Peebles and Gordon Parks type director. And then you're going to move in with a new group of kids who are into rap. Okay? Because my story ends in 1996 or 97. So what's happening in the rap world around 96 or 97, right? You could see the rap world coming up. And I remember when I was listening to rap, it was all about sampling and samples, and they would sample from movies. They would always take samples from movies. And so now you have another set of films that you can make. You have black exploitation films, right? I remember one was, what was it specifically? Ghostface Killer. And I kept looking for the film. I'm like, what film is this from? And I kept looking it up. I was like, I gotta find this sample where it's from, right? So, right, and so this is how this series. Thank you very much. It'll probably take a year or two. Uh, the next episode, I'll be talking about it more. I'll tell you the story behind it, right? So again, so you have the punk rock, which is what I grew up with, and then I could kind of hand it off to the next set of people who know more about this black exploitation, know more about rap, right? And we can kind of work our way through that end of it. Now, this is a concept where you're going into the films. You have music, you have the actors, you have the sound bites, you have the films, you have the visual. That's the entire point of this novel. Now, what are you doing when you're sitting there reading a novel, anyways? The movie's playing in your mind, right? That's where the movie is. The movie's in your mind. So we're going to make the movie for them. We're going to make a series. And it's going to be really exciting. It's called Linoleum Blown Apart. And again, it's only going to take place over 10 years for the punk rock kid. And I don't know, 30 or 40 years, 30 years for the other character. And it's just going to, like I said, it's really funny. I don't know. I don't want to get into too many of my stories, but it's about at a half an hour. I'm gonna wrap it up for you guys. Don't forget that these culture creators are creating this reality. It's a false reality for you. Don't get too addicted to it. These uh, these social media sites specifically, now there's more of them, but the algorithm associated with Facebook and Instagram are very dangerous. They're not only addicting, but they are sending a signal up, a neurological signal to your body to get you involved and maybe even get you out there fighting in the streets. Thank you very much for watching my show. I appreciate it more, and you'll ever know.